at this bar graph from the Extreme Sports and Winter Olympics article that we read earlier. And so this kind of graph here at the bottom is called a bar graph. And bar graphs and other kinds of graphs can help readers understand some data or pieces of information in a really quick and easy way. A bar graph uses rectangles or bars like this to show this. In this case, it shows the percentage of X Games sports that have become Winter Olympic events from 1998 to 2014. So let's take a closer look at some of the information that we can learn from looking at this graph. So I'm going to ask you to stop and do some thinking. In what year did the smallest percentage of X Games sports cross over to the Olympics? So to find that, I would look along this axis here that has the years, and then here's the percentage. And it looks to me like it was 2002 because only 5% of the X Games sports were in the Winter Olympics. If you look at this graph on your own, it should be fairly easy to see which year had the largest number of sports crossover. And you might look at the year 2002. In 2002, what percentage of the Olympic Games came from X Games sports? And then you might look at, do you notice any trends or any patterns in the bar graph as the years go on? So as we increase in years or we go to later dates, what do you notice is happening about the percentage of sports, X Games sports in the Winter Olympics? So what I'm going to ask you to do now that we've looked at this bar graph is sometimes when we look at graphs, not only do we get information, but it can also help us generate some questions, some things for us to think about further. So when you look at this bar graph, what are some questions that you might have after looking closely at that? I can tell you one question that I have is I kind of want to know which sports were actually included each year, and were they the same sports? Like, were the same sports in 1998, that 6%, part of the 16% in 2014. So what are some things that you're wondering now after looking at this graph?